Hey guys, so we are back with celebrity compatibility using astrology synastry, and today I'm going to do Justin and Hailey Bieber. So I have Justin in blue behind me and Hailey in orange. And what I can tell you right away is this relationship has a lot of good stuff going on. There's a lot of physical attraction, but there's also this deep spiritual connection between the both of them, and real love. Whenever we look at synastry, we're going to want to look at the seventh house. I mean, that is just your super first step. That's what it should always be. So the seventh house represents everything that you look for in a one-on-one relationship, whether that's romantic or platonic. So Hailey, she is a Sagittarius rising, and so that makes her descendant Gemini. So when she looks to others for relationships, she's going to really be looking for somebody who loves to communicate, is a great communicator, is really open to learning, has a really is intellectual, but also not super stubborn in believing what they believe. Like they are typically very open and looking to learn from others, and they also love to travel and get out. So when we look to Justin to see if he has these qualities, he actually has Mercury, the planet of communication, right on top of Mars, sitting in her third house of communication. So right away, this is like best friend energy. They could probably talk for hours and hours and hours. Like genuinely, they were probably really good friends before they decided to be romantic interests. Not only does Mars and Mercury sit in her third house, but Hailey's Jupiter in Capricorn also sits in his third house. So there is a lot of intellectual chemistry between these two. Like they truly can just sit and talk and be each other's best friends. Like they just want to hang out, spend time together. And, I think the third house is totally slept on when it comes to relationships. I think, when the honeymoon phase ends and you're not as physically attracted to each other, you really are going to need to lean on the fact that you are best friends and you do just genuinely like spending time together. So these placements are amazing. Now, we know that Justin is a Scorpio rising, 29th degree, so that makes his 7th house Taurus. So who he is, we know that Justin, since he has been in the public eye, he definitely has this chaos in his life, like whether he wants to or not. He is a Scorpio ascendant and he has Pluto and the North Node sitting right on top of his ascendant. Like there is truly nothing that he can do. He is meant to have a million deaths and rebirths in this lifetime at a soul level, and that's just going to be chaotic. So in relationship, he's really looking for people who can bring this stability into his life, and somebody that he can count on, he can rely on, somebody that's going to ground him. So when we look at Hailey's chart, she has Jupiter in Capricorn and she has Mars and her midheaven in Virgo. These are earth signs. They are super stable. They are logical. They're grounding. Capricorn, her Jupiter in Capricorn makes her want to work at things long term. Like she is a girl who will take one step at a time for years. She has this staying power to her that makes her perfect for Justin. And so, that's what makes looking at birth chart synastry so important, because you need to kind of see what planets, what aspects they're making, what houses they're sitting in. And so right away, this is really good when we're looking at 7th house. Now, I want to talk about Justin and Hailey's moon. in relationships, our moon is really important because it represents what we need in order to feel emotionally stable and emotionally fulfilled in a relationship. So Justin's moon is in Libra. And so he probably oftentimes really prefers to make others more comfortable and happy, to seek harmony in the group. He really is conflict averse, and he has probably swept things under the rug in order to keep others happy. Now, Hailey's Venus is in Libra, and so she truly is desiring, and the way that she attracts people as well is that same type of energy. She is all about harmony and just being that person that isn't really going to create conflict. She's really looking to create harmony and peace in relationship. Now, that's all sitting in Justin's 12th house, and this is an incredibly spiritual, deep, intimate house. So they are really connected on a spiritual level. And that's making this opposition to Hailey's moon, which is in Aries. So, I can really see this playing out in the relationship. It probably first lent itself to a lot of attraction, but Hailey is somebody who is always going to try on an emotional level to think of her needs and what she needs in a relationship to feel safe. And this is in direct opposition to Justin's moon, which is really just trying to make just to say yes to make others happy, because it's not necessarily always a big deal. But then Hailey's probably like, yeah, it's always a big deal. Like, you should always think of what you want and put yourself first. So I think this type of dynamic between them really helped Justin. We saw when they ended up being together officially, like, Justin really cleaned up his act. And I honestly really do lend that to the fact that Hailey was probably always trying to push Justin into thinking what was best for him and not necessarily trying to make others happy. And when you're in the public eye and you have a bunch of people working for you who also want to be in the public and have that type of public attention, it's hard to know where people's loyalties really lie. So I think this was really helpful for Justin. Now, I could talk about their relationship synastry for hours, but in order to just finish off, I want to talk about Saturn. You cannot ever dismiss Saturn when it comes to long-term relationship. It is quite literally the planet of long-term commitment. And so I want to see what's going on here. Now, we have Hailey's Saturn sitting in Aries right over here, and it's making this beautiful trine to Justin's North Node, Pluto ascendant aspect. So she is incredibly supportive of where Justin is meant to go for in this life, what he's meant to do, his destiny's path. She is supporting that and helping create the foundations for him to do that. And his Saturn in Pisces is making a trine to her moon and squaring her sun and Pluto. So Hailey is actually very powerful and intuitive. She can quite literally probably read people like a book. And he is really devoted to helping her express herself in the way that she's meant to in this life. We look to Hailey and we say, oh, you're a Victoria's Secret model, you're beautiful, blah, blah, blah. But she's honestly really meant to be an incredibly powerful CEO, boss type of person. And Justin is helping her do that. He's helping create the foundations for her to be that in this lifetime. So all in all, this relationship is so good. They have this real supportive energy, but they also have this spiritual compatibility that is incredible. And with a lot of their aspects sitting in Libra and in Aries, a lot of this is also coming up for them. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'm happy to do another celebrity couple